kindergarten. I am back in our classroom for today, and I wanted to read you all a story. So we've been talking about space and about the moon. Well, today we're going to go on a mission, and our mission is going to be with Ron. Ron's big mission. I love space, and I love talking about space and reading about space. I think it is just so fascinating. So today our story is called Ron's Big Mission. It is written by Rose Blue and Corrine J. Nadine, illustrated by Don Tate. Ron's Big Mission. He's looking up at the moon. Look at that, right up there. Did you all look at the moon? Last night it was pretty cloudy last night. Couldn't really see it. So we'll see tonight if we can see the moon. Here we go. You're up early this morning, Ron. What's the rush? Asked Miss McNair. Come and have your breakfast. I made some oatmeal. I have to go, Mama, said Ron, tying his sneakers. I have something to do this morning. You always have something to do, said his mother with a smile. Just be home by lunchtime, okay? There he is, tying his shoe. Have you been practicing tying your shoe too? Ron was 9 years old. That morning he left his house with a plan. He'd been thinking about it for a long time. It was a beautiful South Carolina summer day, and Ron looked up at the blue sky. Someday, he thought, he would be up there flying a plane. He wanted to be a pilot when he grew up. But today, Ron had something else on his mind. Something very important. What do you think is so important? Let's find out. Ron walked down the street as fast as he could. He didn't want to be late. Hi, Ron, the grocer called from the front of the store. There you are, just in time for a donut. Morning, Mr. Douglas, said Ron. Thank you, but there's some place I've gotta be. And Ron kept on walking. Down by the schoolyard, Ron saw his friend Carl shooting baskets. All right, you made it, called Carl. Hi, Carl, said Ron. I wish I could stay, but I've got something important to do. I wonder what's so important. More important than basketball on summer vacation? Said Carl. Are you kidding? Ron laughed. He loved to play basketball, but not today. Today was too important. Ron kept on walking. When Ron got to the Lake City Public Library, he stopped. This was it. He was hot from walking so fast, and he was nervous too. He took a deep breath, lifted his head up high, and went inside. Miss Scott was busy getting ready for all the people who would be using the library today. As the head librarian, she had to make sure that everything was neat and orderly. Miss Scott looked up to welcome her first visitor of the day. She smiled as Ron walked in. He was her best customer. Ron gave a little wave to Miss Scott and went right to the shelves. This reminds me of our library. It took Ron a while to find some books. He always looked for books that showed children who looked like him. But that was hard. There were not many books about black kids on the shelves. At last, Ron found some books on airplanes. He took the books and started to walk to the front desk. Ron felt nervous and his hands felt a little sweaty. But he knew what he wanted to do. Miss Fielding, a white lady who was often in the library, stopped him. Why do you think she would stop him? "You can give me the books and I'll check them out for you, Ron," she said gently. "No thanks, Miss Fielding," Ron said. "I'm going to do it all by myself." "But Ron," she started to say. Why do you think he couldn't check out books? Ron was already on his way to the front desk. He put the books on the counter. "I'd like to check these out, please," said Ron. The desk clerk didn't look at him. Didn't she hear me? Ron wondered. Ron knew what he had to do. What do you think Ron is going to do? See. He jumped up on the counter. He wanted the desk clerk to know he was serious. "I'd like to check out these books," he said quietly. At first the desk clerk and Miss Scott just looked at each other. "You know you can't check out books, Ron," said Miss Scott. "You can read them here. That's the rule. Only white people can check out books from the library." Ron looked at Miss Scott and the desk clerk politely, but he would not budge. "I always read them here. Today I want to check them out," said Ron. Miss Scott and the desk clerk did not know what to do. Ron wouldn't get off the counter. People were staring. Finally, the desk clerk called the Lake City Police. All he wanted to do was check out a book. 2 policemen came right over. "Let someone check out the books for you, son," and one of the policemen. "You know the rules." But Ron just shook his head. He would not budge. Now Miss Scott called Ron's mother. Miss McNair came to the library very quickly. "I know how you feel, baby," she said, "but you have to follow the rules." "I can't, Mama," Ron told her. "It's wrong. The rules are not fair. Why can't I check out books like everyone else?" No one said anything, not the desk clerk, not Miss Scott, not the policeman, not even Ron's mother. Miss Scott looked at Ron. She thought about all the times that Ron came into the library and all the times he sat at the tables for hours looking over so many books. He was her best customer, and she knew what she had to do. Miss Scott walked back into her office and started writing. Ron wondered what she was doing. Miss Scott returned and handed Ron a library card. His library card. Ron looked at Miss Scott and smiled. As he jumped to the floor, he thought he saw her smile too. "I'd like to check out these books, please," he said, handing the card to the desk clerk. The desk clerk took his library card and stamped the cards in the books on the back. "These are due back in 2 weeks," she said. Ron smiled. "Thank you," he said. He tucked the books under his arm and took his mother's hand. Together they walked home. Ron couldn't wait to get to his room. And open to page 1. The end. I'm going to read you a part about Ron. The boy who was Ron McNair grew into a man who flew planes, just like he dreamed he would do. He became an astronaut. Today, everyone in the Lake City remembers him. They remember him every time they walk into the library. The red brick building on 234 Main Street is a special place. The walls in the children's room were painted with pictures that show children reading books. Under a huge oak tree, a space shuttle flies through the sky. Inside the library, anyone can get a card and check out books. Young Ron McNair had a dream. On that day in 1959, he made it start to come true. Because of him, many young people have a chance to dream. You can only be a winner if you are willing to walk over the edge, Astronaut McNair once told a group of children. Your eagles, spread your wings and fly to the sky. Many years ago in Lake City, South Carolina, young Ron McNair became a hero. Years later, here he is. Here's Ron. He wanted to just check out a book, but why couldn't they check out books? Well, back then, we talked about this when we talked about Martin Luther King. Everything was segregated. Everything, we couldn't drink out of the same fountains. We couldn't go to the same places. People had to take separate transportation, and they couldn't go into the same library. So everything was separate. And so he stood up for what he believed was right. And he changed everyone's point of view. And now he was allowed to check out books, and he studied really hard, and he became an astronaut. So he changed everyone's perspective. So I love this story about how Ron made such a big difference. He found that things weren't going the way that they should, so he stood up for what was right. All right, kind kindergarten. I hope you enjoyed Ron's big mission. Okay? Just remember to always be kind. All right? So until next time, kind kindergarten, hugs and love from me to you. Bye, kind kindergarten. I'll see you soon. Bye.